Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to Android Basics Explained. This series is all about helping you to understand the details of Android development. This is not about learning to code. If you would like to learn how to code your first app, please watch my other video series called Android Development for Beginners. However, if you want to understand how you might start to take a design from a wireframe to an app, then watch these videos. This series will give you a deeper understanding of Android basic terminology and practices. In the last video, I explained all about views and layouts. When creating an app screen, you first need to decide on which views and layouts you need. However, once you have put your view and layout code into your app in Android Studio, it will not look like your app design. This is because the attributes of your views need to be set to match and create your design. In our example from last video, we had a simple design that we wanted to create, and we decided to create this design using a relative layout, an image view, some text views and a button. So let's add these into Android Studio. Okay, so I've got a relative layout, an image view, two text views and a button. However, it doesn't yet match my design. I need to add layout attributes to the views in order for them to be positioned correctly. I also need to add the correct values for the height and width of my views. When setting the height and width, most of the time it's best to assign these as either match parent or wrap content. Match parent means the size of the view will equal the size of the view it sits within. This is normally a layout. This is a good way of getting all the views within a layout to be equal size. Wrap content means the view will be the size of the text or image within it. At the moment, I have all of the heights and widths as wrap content. For the logo, I'm going to set the layout width and layout height attributes as static values. I've set them both to 250 dp. dp stands for density independent pixels, which means the size of the image will remain roughly the same percentage of a screen, regardless of how many pixels are in your device. We also want the image to be in the center of the screen, so I'm going to add the attribute layout center horizontal and set the attribute value to true. For the text views, I've set the text attributes to the text in our design. We want our text to be positioned below the image view. In order to do this, our image view and text views need ID values. So you've guessed it, you need to add an ID attribute. Make sure you add @+ID/ before your unique ID name. Then you can add a layout below attribute to your text view and set the attribute value to your logo ID. Then, applying the same principle to the other text view, you can position it below the first text view, and again position them in the horizontal center of the screen. We could do the same to the button, or we could align the button to the bottom of the parent by adding the layout align parent bottom attribute and setting the value to true. Okay, so this is now starting to look a lot more like our design. However, the text looks quite small, and the logo and the button are too close to the edge of our mobile screen. When designing any app, the design looks much clearer and cleaner when your views have margins or some padding. Adding a margin creates space surrounding the view, and adding padding creates space between the text in your view and the edge of the view. Okay, let's add margins to all our views. I've added a small margin of 20 dp to the text views. However, for the logo, I want a larger margin above the logo than I do below it. So I've added two attributes, a 30 dp for the margin top and 10 dp value for the margin bottom attribute. For the button, I added a 30 dp margin for the bottom of the view. To change the size of the text, I added a text size attribute and set the size to 25 SP. SP stands for Scale Independent Pixels. This means that the text will not change size depending on the screen size. So if you viewed this app on a tablet, then the text wouldn't be displayed in a larger font size. Lastly, we need to change the colouring of our application views. To change the font colour to black, add text colour attribute and use the Android colour black. For the button, I use the text all caps attribute and set it to false. Then I set the text colour to white and the background to green. For this green, I use the hex value of the colour in our design. We finally need to change the background colour of our relative layout to white. In the next video, we'll be learning all about scroll views. Thank you.